Ukraine, and the United States of America.
December 5, 1994. Leaders of Ukraine, Russia, the United States and Britain signed the Budapest Memorandum. Stephen Pfeiffer helped to negotiate the treaty.
The United States, Britain, and Russia committed to respect Ukraine's sovereignty, its independence, its existing borders, and committed not to use force or threaten to use force against Ukraine.
Ukraine, which inherited the world's third largest nuclear arsenal following the collapse of the Soviet Union, agreed to transfer all nuclear munitions to Russia for dismantlement and to decommission its launch silos. Harvard scholar Mariana Budjerin wrote a book about those events.
There were other parts of it, financial and technical assistance parts, economic assistance parts to the nuclear deal.
In 2014, Russia annexed Crimea from Ukraine and fueled the separatist movement in the east. In 2022, it launched a full-scale invasion. In a recent statement, the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry called the Budapest Memorandum a monument to short-sightedness in strategic security decision-making. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andrei Sybiha brought a copy of the memorandum to this week's NATO meeting.
This document or this paper failed to secure Ukrainian security and transatlantic security. So we must avoid to repeat such mistakes.
Kyiv says the only real guarantee of security for Ukraine and deterrent to further Russian aggression is Ukraine's membership in NATO. Petro Poroshenko, Ukrainian opposition leader and former president, agrees.
Consider the signature on the invitation to NATO as a continuation of the obligation of our partners, including the United States, on Budapest Memorandum. This is the precondition when Ukraine voluntarily give up the third biggest nuclear arsenal in the world.
Both Budjerin and Pfeiffer say that at the time of the memorandum, Ukraine needed more economic and technical means to maintain and develop its nuclear arsenal as a deterrent to Russia. However, Budjerin says Ukraine could have invested more in its conventional military capabilities.
No single document, no matter how legally binding, no matter how well written and robust, is a sufficient basis for national security. You have to be able to really invest in your own defense and national security.
Pfeiffer says the Budapest Memorandum is not the only document Russians signed and violated, which raises questions about future agreements with Moscow.
It was also in the 1997 Russian-Ukraine Treaty on Friendship, Cooperation, and Peace. It was on several other documents where the Russian government clearly said, we recognize Ukraine in the borders of 1991.
The violations also demonstrate the fragility of the international security system, says Budjerin.
Its workings are as much dependent on states observing them voluntarily, but also states reacting in an adequate and sufficient way to violations.
Russian officials blame Ukraine and its partners for violation of the Budapest Memorandum because, as they say, NATO expansion threatens Russian security interests. Tetiana Voroshko, VOA News.